With the winter sale coming right up, some super important events right around the corner, and a very interesting market, what should you be doing right now? Now, the winter sale starts in less than a week, and if you're looking to do something right now, it's important you know the impact the winter sale is going to have on your items, which is probably not going to be too much, at least at this point. If we want to look to the previous winter sale, we can see that not too many things actually happened for the majority of items. Some items did get affected, but majority-wise, if you have a liquid enough skin, there's actually probably enough people looking to buy that it will probably outweigh the negative impact that happens from the winter sale if we see a repeat of last year. SkinSwap is today's sponsor, and they're also sponsoring you with a free bonus for signing up with the first link in the description. They're the premier place for CSGO and Rust skins, with a massive trading site and a top-of-the-line marketplace, offering you the most competitive rates out there and a massive 40% bonus when you're using that link in the description. Combine that with their top-of-the-line selling feature with many payout options, and their trading feature legitimately taking you just about a minute, and there's no reason not to sign up with that first link in the description. Now, first up here with rare cases, we're starting to see a pretty interesting development. The development is that we're starting to see exactly what we saw last year. We've seen this small piece of growth, and now we're just seeing pretty stagnant prices all across the board. This is not too overwhelming for me because I think this is honestly a really good position for the market to be in. There's not really any reason for these prices to be astronomically increasing right now. Obviously, the demand is still there, and it's very clearly there in all categories. It's just dropped down a little bit, but I think it's definitely quite interesting that we're starting to see the exact same trend develop, especially for all price points of these rare cases. We're not just talking about the cheaper rare cases, but this also goes to some of the little bit more expensive ones, maybe your $2 to $5 range. They're seeing this exact same market development. Now, honestly, I think it's a really good time to buy if you think we're going to see a very similar replica to what we saw last year, especially in the growth category. In my previous video, we talked about how in a 1 year period, we've seen a massive amount of growth for pretty much every case across the board that's a rare case. Now, this is not just exclusive to the cheaper rare cases, but also some of the ones that are a little bit more expensive now. With that being said, obviously it's not going to be a one-to-one replica, but the fact that we're starting to see a little bit of the repeating trend form once again is a really good piece of news. And honestly, I don't even think you need specific data to back you up about repeating trends. This area has just been known to have a significant amount of growth, and I think that's exactly what it's going to do. Now, talking about the Paris capsules, we actually have some pretty important things to know. First of which is if we want to look at the 5-day for all of these Paris capsules, you can see that none of them are actually moving, especially the ones that have the team logos inside of them, which is really good considering a lot of these seemed like they were struggling a little bit over the past month period. Now, this is actually really good for these ones that have the team logos inside of them because we can see obviously there is a massive amount of these capsules out there, and we're going to focus in on one specifically that's looking a little bit better than the rest in a quick second. Talking about the autograph ones, though, these ones haven't really been doing too much, but obviously we know that's exactly what they're planning to do. We don't really see too much movement in this area because there's not as many capsules, but we also know that when the long-term growth happens, these ones are probably going to lag behind a little bit more than the team logos. Now, with all that being said, I don't think right now is definitely the most important time to go ahead and get into the Paris capsules. I think there's better investments out there if you're looking to invest your money right now when you already have some Paris capsules. I think it's a good diversification hedge, but you definitely don't need it in the current moment, and there's nothing that, at least about the Paris capsules, that is drawing me in significantly more than anything else inside of the investing sphere. Now, this is what I really want to get into. Now, looking at the glitter specifically, we can see that there's one that's really lacking behind significantly. That's going to be the Challengers capsule. I see a lot of similarities between the Challengers from Paris and the Stockholm Contenders capsule. I also see a lot of similarities between the Paris Contenders capsule and the Stockholm Challengers capsule. That being, when we look at the Challengers from Paris here, we can see that there's a lot of teams inside of it that don't have many alternatives, and even the two that do have alternatives just got a brand new logo, bringing that number from a 3 out of 8 to a 5 out of 8 with unique logos in a borderless format. That's the exact number we saw from the Stockholm Contenders capsule. Obviously not a one-to-one by any means, but I really like the Challengers here in the current format. I think the stickers inside of them definitely demonstrate that they have a significant amount of people using them. When we talk about capsules that are going to succeed significantly more than the rest of the capsules in this area, the ones with the most unique stickers that are desirable end up doing that, and I think that's exactly what we're seeing right here. Focusing in on the stickers here, we start to see a couple are on the rise a little bit more than the rest. The first of which is the Fnatic glitter. Fnatic glitter is currently the most dominant glitter inside of all of Paris. It's up almost 40% in the past month, completely dominating the other ones, but it's very interesting because when we look at our holos, we're not seeing any growth there. This is kind of something we predicted. We predicted that the growth was probably going to be in the glitters for Paris here, just because the holos were so expensive to begin with. Now, the glitters as an overall whole are not doing anything crazy. It's really just the Fnatic and a couple other ones that are doing okay, but it's definitely very interesting how we saw the holos were too expensive, and that's exactly what we're starting to see here on a longer scale. Now, unfortunately, buying into Paris is still not something that's on the top of my list, whether it's the stickers or the capsules. We can look at some of the stickers like the mouse paper, and it's definitely getting down to a price point where I'm interested, but I'm not buying in just yet. I don't think anything is going to change in this area drastically, that we're going to see the current market trends differentiate from where they're at right now, and for a lot of these stickers, that means they're probably going to be keeping on a decreasing track for the upcoming future, which I'm definitely okay with because we're looking for investments. Focusing in on the play skin market right now is very important. This because the winter sale is going to be the most impactful in this area. If we want to look about 2 weeks ago, we saw a dip down for a lot of skins all across the board. That's because this was the autumn sale going on right here. Now, is this fully attributed to the autumn sale? We don't exactly know, but when we fast forward today where we've got the winter sale and we've also got player counts, which are definitely not helping any growth inside of the play skin market, and we're left with pretty much a picture perfect formula of a lot of these skins being able to maintain their current price points, but they can't really increase. And if we want to look at the 1 year, this is something that happens pretty commonly inside of the skins market. Obviously, there is a little bit of a long-term trajectory of growth, and that's something we really expect, but they're probably not going to outperform any investments. With that being said, I don't think it's a bad idea to go ahead and pick up some of these play skins if that's truly what you want. If we want to talk about an operation or anything that's going to disrupt the market significantly, the play skin market is probably going to be pretty stable, relatively speaking, during this area, just because it's down so much already. I can't see prices going too much lower in this area unless something drastic happens to the overall market. Now, I actually think right now is a perfect time to go ahead and sell out of a couple specific opportunities you're in. The first of which is going to be souvenir packages for a couple different reasons. First up, we're going to exclude Dust 2 for just the explanation. We'll come back to it. But when we're talking about all of the current souvenir packages that are out there, all of them are going to be returning for the next CSGO major in Copenhagen. We're getting too close now that, in my personal opinion, Valve cannot go ahead and change the current maps. If we want to talk about when they removed Dust 2, they did so right after the previous major, so teams can have enough time to adjust to the current map pool. That's not going to happen here. The unboxing rates for souvenir packages that are not discontinued is absolutely horrendous. No one wants them, and when we're talking about the Dust 2 souvenir package, even though it has been removed, I don't think it's a great investment at the current moment just because it's so expensive already, and people aren't really unboxing this that much compared to the supply out there. It's never going to be a cobblestone souvenir package like people compare it to, and therefore I think it's something that you can put your money into a lot better investments than this one specifically. Now, I don't know if you need to necessarily sell it, but agents are something I would definitely be a little bit weary of right now. That's because of a couple different things. Obviously, if you see an operation release, the prices on these things go absolutely terribly wrong. I mean, so many of these dropped down 40 to 50% in the past. Now take into consideration the fact that they have all been pumped up for the past 2 years because we haven't seen any new agents come into the scene, and I think there's definitely a possibility we see a lot of agents decrease quite significantly in price, especially if there's anything that happens to this area. Now, that's obviously a little bit precedented on another thing happening, but it's something I would say you should at least keep in the back of your mind. Now, what you do right now, honestly, I think it's a really good time to go ahead and liquidate out some of your previous positions if you don't want them anymore. Something like RMR, souvenir packages, or possibly agents is a perfect opportunity to go ahead and sell out some of these and start getting into some of the investments you really want to, whether that's Paris, whether that's rare capsules, whether that's Stockholm or Antwerp. There's so many great investments out there that really haven't been seeing too much movement over the past couple of weeks that I think are perfect pickups, but you have to go ahead and sell out some of your old positions if you want to go ahead and invest into some of those new ones if you need the funds to do so. With that being said, I don't think it's worth it to try and sell off some of your good positions to get into other good positions. The reason we're investing into rare cases, Paris, Stockholm, is because they're lower at this price point and not because we want to sell them off because they're lower, and therefore it doesn't really make sense to sell during that period. But that's all I got, and thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of the day.